Good evening. I hope everyone is doing okay, right? Having a great day. And everyone must find a share of time, a little bit of time at least per day to study English because it's important to keep updated and to keep contact with the language. The more you learn, the more you listen, the more you speak, the better, right? Okay, so it's time to study the verb can and the verb could again, because in the last video we saw some situations and now we have other situations in which both verbs can be used. Okay, so let's get going, shall we? All right. Well, remember that can, the verb can, is used mostly, right, when you want to say that something is possible, it's a possibility, right? You can use to express an ability or something that is permitted to do, when you are allowed to do something. So basically is this. We also saw that the simple past of the verb can is could. And could can be used to express either of these alternatives that we have studied. But there is something that you must be aware of. Can and could are the only verb tenses of this verb. You can't use can in the future. You can't use can in the present perfect. It's not possible, right? When you say, I can't swim, I don't know how to swim, okay? I don't have the ability to swim. If I want to express this verb in the past or in the present perfect, you can't use this verb. You have to use the verb able to. Remember the verb to be able to? The verb to be able to, why is it possible to change the verb tenses? Because of the verb to be, right? The verb to be can be in the past, right? Remember, was, were. We can also use the verb to be in the past participle, been. So, just by having this flexibility, the verb to be allows us to use the verb tenses in the past, in the present perfect, and so forth, okay? Now, let's see what I mean. I haven't been able to study lately, right? I haven't been able to study lately. Lately, remember, is an adverb of time that is used a lot with the verb tense present perfect. And the present perfect, why do I know that this is a present perfect tense? Because I have the verb to have plus a verb in the past participle. In that case, the verb to be. So the verb to be able to is changed to the present perfect tense. With the verb can, on the other hand, I'm unable to change the verb tense to the present perfect. It's not possible. So I have to use another verb to change the verb tense, okay? The only possibilities, remember, can be changed to the past. It becomes could, but it's the only change this verb can be applied. I can't use the verb can in the present perfect, so I have to use have been able to. In that case, the negative form, right? Sheila might be able to to help us. There is a small possibility that Sheila will help us. So remember, might. We have the verb may that expresses a possibility. It's like the verb can, okay? But the verb may can't be used to express all the possibilities we have with the verb can. But we will see this another lesson. I just want to emphasize that it's different. The verb might expresses a slight possibility. There is a slight, very minor possibility that something is going to happen. Sheila might be able to help us, but you know, she will be so busy during the day that I'm not considering her helping us at all. So there is a small possibility that she will help us. May, on the other hand, expresses a better possibility, right? I may be able to study with you today. So here I have a real possibility, okay? If I wanted to express the possibility of doing something with you today, could I use the verb can? Yes, I can use I can study with you. Why is that possible? It's possible because remember, the verb can is used only in the present. This is the present tense and this is the past tense. So as the verb may be able to study it equals the present tense, I can replace the verb can with the verb may with can, right? All right. Another verb that is very important that we saw last lesson and I want to emphasize is the verb must. Must expresses an obligation, something that you have to do. You must finish the report before leaving. Right? I'm working. I have something to do. I have a deliverable to make, and I can't leave the office until I finish the report. So I want to express that I have an obligation to do something. You must finish the report before leaving, or you have to finish the report before leaving. Have to is synonym to the verb must. Okay? All right. Now let's see something else. Now we are going to give emphasis to the verb could, okay? Could is used with many verbs. For example, I could remember her very well. So could is used with the verb remember. It's possible to use. When I went to the hotel, I could see the airport. Okay, so this is an action that took place in the past. When I went to the hotel, I could see the airport. This action took place in the past, so I could see. So the verb could is used with the verb see. Another example, I couldn't smell anything. I was sick, right? I had some, I had the flu, for example, and I was unable to smell anything last month. I had a terrible flu, so I couldn't smell anything. So the verb could is used with the verb smell, right? Remember, when I crashed the car, I had a car accident. When I crashed the car, I couldn't remember anything, right? So anything that, I couldn't remember anything that happens after my crash, right? I had amnesia, right? So when I crashed the car, I couldn't remember. So could is also used with the verb remember, right? Another example, I could hear the noise from the street. I was walking along the street. I was afraid and I could hear the noise from the street. Something was happening for some reason, but I could hear the noise. So could hear. Okay, she could taste the delicious cake. Yesterday, my mom cooked, right? And my sister could taste the delicious cake, right? It was wonderful. The cake was delicious. So she could taste the delicious cake. In that case, could can follow the verb taste. I couldn't understand what he was saying. Right? I met somebody who wasn't speaking my language and I couldn't understand what he was saying, right? I spoke Portuguese and the other person spoke Japanese, so I couldn't make out what he was saying. I couldn't understand, right? So the verb could is following the verb understand. So what do I mean by that? That the verb could expresses ideas in the past. All these examples given express ideas in the past, and the verb could is following. Remember, see, smell, hear, taste, understand. Okay, so that's it. The verb can follow these ones. Now let's see another possibility that we can use the verb could. Could is used to express ability, and all the situations I have given before, they express abilities, something that I was able to do. But if I want to emphasize, if I want to express what you did at a specific situation, it's not an ability. It's something that you did at some time in the past, right? You don't use the verb could. You use the verb was or were able. Right? That is the verb to be able to in the past, or you can use the verb manage, managed to. That is very used as well. For example, the thieves managed to escape the police. Okay, so the thieves they robbed the bank, okay, and they make such a scene. They crash. They killed someone, and the police came, and they managed to escape. Right? They stole a car, and they got on the car and escaped. The police was unable to catch the thieves, so the thieves managed to escape the police. This is not an ability from the thieves, okay? It's a specific situation, something that happened at a specific situation. So the thieves managed to escape the police. Or I can say also the thieves were able to escape the police. It's the same thing, right? She wasn't able to find her wallet. She lost her wallet, okay? She was trying to find, she searched for her wallet, but she wasn't able to find her wallet. So, is this an ability or a specific situation? This is a specific situation, right? So, she wasn't able, okay? Another example with manage. We managed to finish the job early. Is this an ability or a specific situation? A specific situation, right? To be able to finish the job, right, is one thing. Right? You are capable, you have abilities to finish the job. But here, I'm expressing the idea that you were able to finish the job early. So we managed to finish the job early in a particular situation, okay? So that's it. The next lesson, we will continue to study these verb tenses, and more situations involving the verb can. But on the other hand, we will see verb tenses like could have or could do something. Could do something, could have done. That could have done, it's we join the verb could that expresses an idea in the past with the verb tense present perfect. And here we join the verb could with do. It's like the verb can. You join verb can swim, can help, can let me see, can drink, right? You join the verb tenses, can with another verb, because the can alone doesn't do anything. Can expresses a possibility, an ability, or something that you are permitted to do. So you have to, the verb can has to be followed by another verb. It's the same with the verb could. Could has to be followed by another verb to make sense, right? Okay, so that's it. Until the next video. Bye-bye.